Hi, I'm just looking in my garage in the freezer for some things for lunch. So I'm putting them in the back. Somewhat organized. And I think we're gonna have some taquitos and some little pizza pocket bites. This back over here. That's still another thing of pumpkin. I'm going to have to make some of my pumpkin muffins this week because I found way too much pumpkin that still needs to be used up. And it's taking up precious space. And here are some burgers. We're not going to do burgers today since we had burgers yesterday. Here's my bread section. So I took some bread out that has been frozen for a while. So I'm just going to dry it in the oven, just on the racks, and just let it air dry. And then I'm going to make breadcrumbs. So I'm just starting here. This is my Asian dumpling section of things that we like, and I bought over time either at the Asian market or the grocery store. And then I found some tater tots. So I'm going to make a tater tot casserole sometime. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday. I'll see. I'm going to keep that back in the freezer. Now that I know where it is, I lifted it up so it's easy accessible. So I have pizza pockets, taquitos, and I have some refried beans. I have some cooked ground beef in cans in the cupboard. So I'm going to make tacos sometime. Trying to think, maybe tomorrow for lunches. But I'll check with my husband to see if he's in the mood for tacos. Sometimes he is, sometimes he isn't. And I think I'm going to use this tortilla. So we'll have tortilla and pizza pockets and the taquitos for lunch and some veggies. So I'm being creative and MacGyvering and put my toolbox to hold the darn door up because it doesn't stay up. So there's the tortilla. St. Hubert tortilla. They're usually up here in Canada. The regular price is about $8.99, but I never pay the regular price. I only buy it when it's on sale, and I'm pretty sure they were on sale for $5 back just after Thanksgiving. So I picked up this one and a couple of other ones that I put in the freezer. We've already used them, so this is the last one of the tortillas. So I'll just make a mental note that whenever they're on sale, I'll pick up another one because it's a quick meal, lunch, or add on with supper. So if I'm making something, a new recipe, and I want to have something as a backup, I'll have this, as my family really likes tortilla. Some like it with ketchup, but I personally just like it regular. And so there's, meat and crust, and then there's going to be the pizza pockets, bites. I'm not even going to use up that whole bag. I'll have some to put back. But first I'll put the tortilla in because it takes almost an hour to cook. So here's the pizza bites, and I'm still going to have like another meal's worth of them. Well, not a meal of just having them, but we tend to like a bunch of little appetizer things for a meal, sometimes for lunches or supper. And then everybody gets a little bit of something that they like. And then here's the rest of the chicken taquitos. So there's 12 of them, so there's enough for everybody to have 3. And then let's count these out to make sure there's an even number, so I don't have to try and figure out the math afterwards. So 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Okay, so there's enough for everybody to have an equal amount. And then some tortilla. And then I have to just now figure out some veggie to have. Let's see what we have. So I'm gonna do some roasted cauliflower, since the tortilla pie has to be in the oven for about an hour. I'll cut this up and put it in the oven too. So I just cut up the cauliflower and I just put it into a bread pan. That's a whole cauliflower. It's quite full. I'm just going to put a little bit of water to help steam it. Just a little bit. Just enough to just cover the bottom part. And then I'm going to put some olive oil. So there you go, some olive oil. And drizzle that on. And then I'm going to stir that up. So there's a bit of oil on all the pieces of cauliflower. And I really love this Old Bay seasoning. I used to only be able to get it in the States, but now Costco sells it. So I'm very, very happy to get the Bay seasoning. So I'm gonna put some on here. I'll stir it in a bit. And some basil. And garlic pepper seasoning. So there's garlic, pepper, and salt in here, all mixed together. So instead of just having to do it all separate, now I'm just going to stir it around. And I'll add some more Old Bay seasoning and basil. But the other one I don't need to because it comes out quick. So I think a lot came out. Stir it around. And so yeah, my cauliflower was really at the back of the freezer, not freezer, fridge, and a bit of it got a bit frozen from being at the back. So I'm definitely gonna use it up, as I got it a couple weeks ago, and hadn't used it yet because I bought, I think, 2. There we go. So I stirred it up. I'm going to add just more basil. I was going to add some more. I'm going to put the tiniest bit of Old Bay seasoning on the pieces that don't have any, because I was just tasting it a bit on the salt side. Not too salty, but that's about it. Oh yes, Parmesan cheese. So I get the grated Parmesan at the store. Usually, sometimes I'll get the really good stuff, but I tend to get more of a budget one. So these ones are 2 of this type container for I think $5. So it's not the worst Parmesan cheese. It's better than the Kraft one, but it's 100% real shredded cheese, but shredded really fine. I prefer it when it's little shavings pieces versus almost powder like. So now I'm just going to stir that around, get some all the way down there onto the other pieces. And we go. Now throw this in the oven. With the torture. The torture pie. That's what my family calls it. There we go. And that's about it. I'll put this in the oven and I'll show it to you at the end. So there's the wonderful tortilla. And there's the cauliflower. Nice and flavorful and still a good bite to it. And the pizza pocket bites and taquitos. And there you go, nice big piece of tortilla pie. The roasted cauliflower, pizza pockets, and taquitos. And this is the tortilla pie. We like to have it just cut in four, but if there was more people here, we'd cut them in equal pieces. When we have it at Thanksgiving or Christmas, we will do this as like an appetizer and cut it into eighths and have a piece, and then your turkey meal. That's how we do it in Canada, or traditionally, at least in our house. There you go. Hi. Tonight for supper I'm going to make some homemade chicken balls and some dumplings that I have frozen in the freezer. Some of them I'm going to do pan-fried dumplings, pot stickers, and some are boil in a pot ones. We're going to have that with chicken balls and I think noodles or rice. I'll have to decide. I'll have to look. And there'll be some broccoli in there too. So it'll be chicken balls and broccoli. I'll show you the recipe below, and I'm doing half of the recipe. I'm not making the sweet and sour sauce as I already have a container of it already. So right now I'm going to make the batter. I'm doing half of the recipe below, so the recipe calls for 1 cup, but I'm going to do half a cup because the amount of chicken I had taken out of the freezer yesterday, that's half a cup of flour, was not a lot of chicken. So I figure it's a good amount of chicken to make chicken balls, and my husband wanted something Asian for supper, so that's what I'm doing. And there's a half a cup of cornstarch, and then a teaspoon of baking soda, and I'll crush that chunk up there because it's a little bit chunky. There we go. And a teaspoon of baking powder. Here, teaspoon. And then it called for some garlic powder. Just gonna squirt a little bit in there. And it called for some sesame oil. Called for some sesame oil. And there's sesame oil. That should be about a teaspoon. And then it called for water, so I'm just going to add some water till it makes a nice dough. Put half of this. If you want like a batter, like a kind of like a pancake batter. Usually I just do sweet and sour chicken. So that is just taking cornstarch and a little bit of flour and a bit of salt and pepper and dipping my raw chicken pieces in that dry and then pan frying it in oil. But I thought I might try something a bit different and make some chicken balls. So there's the dough. So how I fry stuff is I save the oil after I fry it. So I'm going to use leftover oil, and then I'm going to add more oil to it because that's not enough oil to fry it. But I don't necessarily like to have a whole bunch of used oil, so I don't put things with too much oil. So that is the cut up frozen chicken that I had. So now I'm going to put that in the batter and take this out. Don't need the whisk anymore. I'm going to take some pieces of chicken and put it into the batter. Actually, I should just put all of the chicken in the batter and then dip it out from there. And then take a piece of battered chicken. And then, see, these ones are already starting to brown. Last thing you want is burnt pieces, so you have to keep an eye on it. It's not something that you can do and walk away, unfortunately. That's one thing why I don't necessarily like frying foods much, because I tend to like to multitask. I like to put stuff together and leave it and forget it. Turn them over so they're nicely cooked. And then I'll put them on some newspaper. And then I'll continue. There, I put all the chicken in. And then I can drop pieces. There we go. I'm going to change my thing to my metal one. Just be careful of the bottom because it's a Tefal bottom. Just the plastic, I was worried that this was getting too hot and I didn't want to melt the plastic. So I'm just flipping them over. And so at the end, since I'm doing things and different parts. I have a hard time sometimes multitasking to have everything ready at the same time. So I'm doing this ahead of time. So I can put it on a cookie sheet and put it in the warm oven to stay crisp. And then I will make the other dumplings and stuff like that. Oh, and also my husband mentioned just now, he goes, well, instead of broccoli, how about some peppers and onions in it? So I think that's what I'll probably do. And another batch of stuff going in. And there's the done ones. They're not very ballish, but it is what it is. There we go. We're doing this instead of eating out tonight. My husband's not feeling good, and he's like, well, let's order in. And I'm like, well, I've got a bunch of some Chinese stuff in the freezer. I can do it for cheaper than ordering in. Not as good, I might say. Especially since when we do order in, I don't have to cook or clean up. I just have to clean a plate for each person. So this is a lot more effort, but it saves money. So. And there's the last batch in the in the frying oil, not the fryer. And another way of being frugal is using what you have instead of just buying new equipment. So, yes, a deep fryer would be convenient to do this in. Possibly safer so stuff doesn't splatter in that. But you use what you have. And I didn't fill it up. They usually say to put like an inch or two of oil so that it's all encompassing. I just do it to the halfway mark and then flip. Because with that much oil, there's more chance of splatters and stuff, and I don't really want the splattering. I just want the cooking of it. So. There we go. And then I'll let this cool down a bit before I strain it into my jar again. So now we're going to go in the freezer and get some of these soup-filled steamed pork buns and a pot sticker. And which ones are these? Pork leek or pork and cabbage. Remembering which one. I'm just looking for other stuff. I'm taking those out for tomorrow. I wanted them the other day, but I couldn't remember where I put them. So okay. So there's I'm going to not take these ones. I'm going to do the pork fried dumplings and the pork soup bun, and I think we'll do the pork leek. And that is what we're going to do for supper. I'll show you what I'm going to make with it. So I'm just making a quick fried rice with leftover rice from the other day. I'm just breaking it apart. You shouldn't make fried rice with fresh rice because it needs to be like dried out. Fresh rice would still absorb all the sauce and stuff and get kind of mushy. So normally I would first pan fry a scrambled egg and then take it out and then do any type of meat, if I have leftover meat, and put in, and then onions or peppers or that. But I'm just going to do just plain. Just going to be soy sauce, sesame seed oil, I think Chinese 5-spice, and garlic and ginger. Just because my daughter, who does like rice, is not fond of like peas and carrots per se, and that's what usually you put in a fried rice. So I'm just going to do it plain. So I put a little bit of oil at the bottom of the pan, and then I put the rice here and soy sauce. And so this is Chinese 5-spice. If you Google it, it'll tell you what the spices are. I believe there's cinnamon, nutmeg, probably ginger, cloves, I'm not sure. And then putting some ginger in, and some garlic. If you have fresh ginger or fresh garlic, use that. I just didn't want to do that. I was just like, oh, I should make the rice and use up the last little bit of rice I made up the other day. Since I'm going with the Asian theme. And then I'll put the sesame seed oil, sesame oil, just a little bit. I find that's what makes a lot of Asian dishes taste Asian, with the oil. It just brings out all the other flavors. And there we go. And that's it for that. And I just put some more oil in the wok, or the pan. I just put some oil in the pan, and I'm putting the pork soup buns, pork-filled soupy buns. They're like a pot sticker. I just put a bit of oil in the pan so there's a little bit underneath each bun. Oops, that's the other way. Can't separate them all. They're still frozen. And then I put water to fill it up halfway, and then put the lid on it, and they steam for 20 minutes. So now I am putting another pan with some oil at the bottom, and then putting the pot stickers, pan-fried dumplings, in there. Again, I can't seem to break them apart as much, but whichever ones I can get broken apart, I will. Just make sure there's enough oil to go on the bottom, and then pour water to fill that up too and get that going. Get a lid on that one. And now I put some water in a pot, and I'm going to do the boiled dumplings. They take about 10 minutes, so we haven't tried these ones yet, so I'm only going to do half the bag so we have some for another time. My family likes going to Chinatown and doing dim sum, which is a whole bunch of little dumplings and stuff, and usually a plate of dim sum is about 3 or 4 of them for maybe a couple dollars, maybe 6 if you're lucky. So these were $1.88 and these ones were $1.88. This package was, I think it was $3. It was more dumplings, 3 or 4. So when we go to Chinatown, the dim sum really adds up because there's 4 of us, 2 teens and 2 adults, and they're all little bites. So if you're paying per item, basically 50 cents per bite, it gets pricey. I'm going to try and separate these ones that were frozen. Now mind you, the stuff in the dim sum in Chinatown, they come in carts and they go around, or you can order from a menu some places, which is kind of neat, and it's a whole experience. So we do like doing that, and we still do that, but this is a way to do it on a budget and still get some authentic flavors, but not the whole experience. So these are separated a bit. There we go. Put the lid back on and put a lid on that one. And there we go. So, turn these down now, because I don't want them to dry out and burn. So now I'm doing some pepper, and I'm going to put the sweet and sour sauce in there to heat up. And then I'll put the chicken balls in there. Okay. And I'll put the chicken balls in there. So a little bit of batter made with a whole bunch of chicken balls. There we go. There's sweet and sour chicken balls. And then the soupy pot stickers, pork buns, the boiled pork dumplings, and the pork pot stickers. And fried rice. And that's supper.